So the sun's out, it's a beautiful day. It's been raining for the past 2 days straight, so I had to take advantage of the beautiful weather, come outside to tell you guys a little bit of a story. With help from a viewer, Stefan Dutoy, we came up with the idea of making a playlist called Roam at Home. And essentially it's going to be a little series of all these different vlogs and things while we are under lockdown. I'm going to try and release a video every 2 or 3 days that we can kind of have open conversations, and you can hopefully learn something new about me and I can learn something new about you guys. So this is definitely designed for you guys to get down in the comments and tell me your stories too. So in my last episode, I invited you guys to comment down below and let me know of some topics and some suggestions that you want me to talk about. And what I realized when I was going through them is that over this whole time of making all these videos, I never once made a video about myself. Everything was about this amazing little grey car. And, you know, maybe it would be a nice time right now to let you guys know a little bit more about me, where I come from, what I do, and why I started Roam Overlanding. Now that's actually pretty silly of me, because most of you guys must be watching these videos all the time and going, who the hell is this guy? And why is he doing this? And it's a long story. So first of all, my name's Adrian, and I'm born and raised in sunny South Africa. So how did I get into overlanding? My parents didn't camp. How did I get into this world? And I would say a defining factor for me was for my 21st birthday, we decided to go to Scotland. My parents took me on a 9-day road trip around Scotland in an RV. But I just don't think anybody realized how much that trip would actually affect me as a person. And I mean, we stayed in campsites all across the country. It was incredible. And when I came back to South Africa, I needed to replicate that feeling. So I packed up my bakkie and I traveled to the Drakensberg to find mountains. I traveled to the sea. I traveled to try and find things that would replicate that feeling of when we were in Scotland. And through that, I started developing this love for my own country. It's a very South African thing to think more of other countries and other worlds than our own. And I started to break that kind of stigma down in my mind and learn to really, really appreciate the country that I live in. Now, I'd gone on road trips and I'd gone on trips in my previous vehicle, gotten punctures driving too fast on dirt roads, and I had that lust to travel, that lust for freedom. But when I got my bakkie, I mean, one of the first accessories I put on was my Bushtec aluminium canopy, and I wanted to turn that bakkie into a camper van. I bought a single cab. I had this massive space in the back. I custom built my own drawer system, made a bed out of it. I had a lot of fun with that vehicle, and it started to unlock these things slowly as I was playing around with it. And obviously it was a big vehicle, it was difficult to park around town, and there was a whole bunch of reasons why I ended up selling it and buying something on the opposite side of the spectrum, the Jimny, which is a tiny little vehicle and is really difficult to overland with, but it's a challenge that I've accepted. But I learned more about 4x4ing with the Jimny. I learned more about proper off-roading. So it's been a very unique experience going from one thing, and all of these things they've been totally random, but they've led to this place right now. If you had told me 2 years ago that I'd have a YouTube channel and I'd have almost 50,000 subscribers, I'd tell you, you're mental. I'm not a confident, social person. I like being isolated, and that's why I enjoy traveling to these remote places, to be in the middle of nowhere all on my own. And landmark trips for me, something like the Richtersveld, like That was my first proper overlanding trip. And then I went to Lesotho. That trip, it woke me up, you know, it slapped me in the face and it was like, what are you doing just sitting at home? There's this whole world out there to go and explore and to go and enjoy. I've been very fortunate to have the support of my parents and things like that. I mean, going roam overlanding full time, I don't earn enough income to pay my rent all the time. I don't earn enough income to buy groceries all the time. It's one of those things where I went out on a limb to try and do this thing. If I don't do it, I'd be letting down a lot of people. But at the same time, my whole motivation for this is not just to make other people happy. You know, this is a dream that I have and that I want to turn into a reality. And I feel like I can help and inspire other people to do the same thing for themselves. Working a job and doing things like that, you might only need 3-4 trips a year, but you need those trips to be really worthwhile. I get to go out there and go do all these trips, condense down that information, show you the places, and you can decide from yourself, oh, I really want to go there, or I really want to go there, or nah, that place is okay, I wouldn't really bother with that, it's not really my thing. You get to see that through my videos. And for people who aren't traveling around South Africa, who aren't traveling around Southern Africa, you just get that inspiration to go out there and explore your own places, make your own tracks, and find your own incredible experiences. So in my second year of high school, I started really getting into photography. And by the time I had left high school, I was already earning an income from it. So I didn't feel the need to go to university or study. I just continued down that path. So following a path like that, I ended up just going job to job to job, just going wherever I could earn an income. And that ended up putting me shooting model portfolios and doing fashion photography, which now that I look back at it is something that just, no wonder I just felt out of place. It's something that I just really didn't resonate with, but it was just my world at the time. So I ended up opening a studio and, you know, running the studio and doing all these model portfolios. I shot hundreds of models and I just had this hollow feeling at the end of the day. So I closed down my studio and ended up going through one of the hardest times of my life where I basically earned no income. Now, the advantage of that is it pushed me into a space where I was prepared to do anything to earn some money. And I was picking up jobs that I didn't see myself as that type of photographer, or I would do a favor in hopes that it would lead to jobs. And funny enough, one of those favors brought me right to this place right now. I did a favor for a company called Blacksmith Collective. They're a production company based in Johannesburg, and they really loved the work that I did, and they ended up bringing me back on another shoot and another shoot, and it turns out we were good buddies, all of us. I actually went on one of my first roam trips to the Richtersveld in my old vehicle with Marcus, and he's one of the co-owners of Blacksmith Collective. And in that whole process of starting to work with Blacksmith and moving forward and doing jobs for them, I started to pick up skills in the video industry. Now for me, 6 years being a photographer, moving into the video side of things was a whole new world for me. And there was just a demand for it. So I ended up picking up a camera that could, shoot really good film stuff, and I could still take photos, and that became my bread and butter for a really long time, is doing photos and film and photos and film and film and film and film, until eventually film just kind of overtook everything. Now, when I was in the process of selling my Amarok and buying the Jimny, I had maybe done one video and put it on YouTube. I tried to do a couple other videos, and I kind of had the taste, and the passion was there to keep making videos. But when I bought my Jimny, I'd been scouring the internet looking for any possible video on Jimnys and everything, and I was watching in strange languages, and just so I could see the vehicle in action, because this was a vehicle I was just about to buy, and I was just trying to do as much research as possible. And when I made the decision to buy the Jimny, I just thought, you know what, I need a film going to go pick it up and doing this whole process. There's people out there who would find this so valuable, and to get some of my first impressions, to share that excitement with me. And there were. And it just kind of led from one thing to another as I kind of progressed with making those videos. I filmed putting the tires on, putting the roof rack on, things like that. And as my YouTube started growing, as my Instagram started growing, you know, obviously I reached out to more people, and they needed the Jimny as a development vehicle. So I kind of combined my skills as a filmmaker and a photographer to film the process of designing and manufacturing and installing all of these products on the Jimny. And that kind of kick-started the whole YouTube channel. And then obviously once the vehicle was kitted out, I needed to go and travel and test it out, and that was the whole purpose of buying the Jimny, was to go and travel and have this lightweight, compact vehicle to go and do these incredible adventures in. And one thing just led to another, and more equipment got put on the car, and the vehicle started gaining notoriety online, and the images started getting shared around the internet and picked up in blogs in Japan, in Russia, in Spain, and all around the world. And that kind of started growing my audience. I didn't really plan too much, I didn't really think about it too much, I just kind of went with the flow. And that's kind of brought us to the point now where I've never told you guys about myself. I've never introduced myself. You don't really know that much about me and my skills and, you know, me as a person. This Jimny is not my entire life, and I don't dedicate every waking moment to thinking and dreaming about this Jimny. This is a part of my life. It became a really, really significant part of my life for sure. I mean, after working with Blacksmith for a year in that production company, you know, honing my skills, the videos just became more and more popular, and it was starting to interfere with my work life. And I wasn't performing as well at work because I was putting too much time and effort into Rome Overlanding. So I decided to quit my job, and that was last year, October. And after that, I went to Botswana, you know, I did all those trips, I did more build videos, I went to Cape Town, I did all of that stuff, and I've been trying to balance, you know, things out, but quite frankly, Rome Overlanding doesn't generate that much money, and there's times where I can't pay my bills, so I still have to freelance, and occasionally I'll do some freelance jobs here and there to kind of supplement my income. But obviously now with the whole coronavirus situation, that's just kind of toppled everything on its head. But that's why I figured this would be the perfect time to actually take some time to slow down and to give you guys a bit more perspective on who I am. And the next videos that you're going to see is I'm hoping to kind of get that across, that I'm not just that Jimny guy, that I'm Adrian from Rome Overlanding and I happen to build a Jimny. Because there's going to be more builds in the future. I mean, you know, there's companies that I'm reaching out to do new exciting stuff with. There's a lot of things. I'm very proactive and I'm very passionate about Rome Overlanding. At the end of the day, I'm passionate about overlanding. And having a little micro overlander is an element of that. But I'd love to have a bigger vehicle. I'd love to build a van. I'd love to do, there's so many projects that I'd love to do. I'm young, I'm 25 years old. And I've got a whole lot of stuff that I want to do by the time I'm 30. And that is really an exciting future. And one of the things that's come out of all of this is, because I mean, if you think about it, if I didn't get into photography, if I didn't shoot fashion, if I didn't do that stuff, I didn't struggle and I didn't have a difficult time and feel out of place, I would never have found this. And this is something where I feel like I belong, I feel part of a community, and I feel like this is something that I can really do. Part of making these videos over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, is about connecting with my real audience. The real people who watch and support Rome and who believe in me and who want to know more about me. And I figure, you know, in a way, it's way more important to have 1,000 people who really get you and really back you and are prepared to put money where their mouths are, rather than 1,000,000 people who just sort of care. And that's what I'm committed to now. I'm not worried about getting more and more numbers on my YouTube channel. I'm committed to growing my relationship with my audience. Because I've met some incredible people who've given me confidence to do the things that I really want to do in this life. I mean, take for example, starting a production company, you know, utilizing our skills from outside of this overlanding world to create this new exciting production company that's going to service the overlanding and outdoor lifestyle industry, to make films and photographs and, you know, specialty content for whatever brands need it. That's something that's going to be really exciting. We're figuring it out. It's so new and it's so exciting. And sure, the timing of everything isn't great, but I'm really hopeful about the overlanding industry after this whole situation. You know, to quote Michael from Overland Bound, adventure is necessary. And adventure is going to be even more necessary after we've all been shut in our homes for weeks on end, being told we can't travel, we can't do this, we can't do that. You know, we are into overlanding because we love freedom, because we love going out there and experiencing incredible things. And there's just something about sitting at home that just doesn't satisfy those needs. And I think there's going to be an even bigger demand for overland and adventure lifestyle than ever after this. And I think companies are going to realize the value of digital content after being locked inside for 3 weeks and only having their phones for entertainment. So I think the industry is going to boom after this. It's going to take a while to recover, but at the end of the day, everyone is going to be better for it. So I'm hopeful for the future. I'm hopeful that we're going to get out there and we're going to have these amazing adventures soon. And we're going through a tough time at the moment, but I don't want to focus on all the negativity. You can go and look at the news and have as much time focusing on the negativity as possible. What I want to focus on over the next few weeks is, when this is over, what then? Because this will end at some point. It can't go on forever. It will end at some point. And I just want to look for that silver lining. I need that to get through my day. And I'm sure many of you need that to get through your days. So I hope you guys are going to stick around and grow more familiar with me and get to know me better. And hopefully I can get to know you better. And I'd love to know down in the comments below, let me know what got you into overlanding and what keeps you going out on those trips weekend after weekend or month after month, year after year. Please let me know. I'd love to read them, and you know, we got nothing better to do now anyway, so I'd love to read all your comments and engage with you guys. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to learn more and to get to know me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next episode of Rome Overlanding, which will hopefully be not too far away. Bye for now.